Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's a triple option. It's a triple option after a loss, a close loss against Clemson, which is something that if you would have talked to the majority of the fan base in the preseason, wasn't even in the realm of possibility. This was an auto loss. This was going to be another bloodbath. This was Wuhan Dabo's COVID revenge game. However, Florida State really only lost by 4 points. They technically lost by 10. That touchdown at the end doesn't really count. A 30-20 loss, a result that Florida State had the lead in the fourth quarter on the road. Looked like, at least to this viewer, that they had a really good shot. I thought they were going to win. So somehow, even with that result, a portion of the fan base is still pretty pissed. Now, I understand the frustration because this was a winnable game. They were winning in the fourth quarter after that Jermaine Johnson strip sack, fumble recovery, touchdown. I was feeling it. I know you guys were too. So I can get the frustration that this was a game that was really right there within your grasp. However, I think there are some positives to be seen as far as how the team has progressed from week 2, week 3, the Jacksonville State games, Wake Forest games, to what they are now. However, there are going to be some times where the deficiencies on this roster that you saw going up against a very talented Clemson defense, they reared their ugly head. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, so a couple of thoughts. Yeah, so there seem to be some ideas floating around just in general that I guess are gonna naturally come up, but I guess I'll artificially bring them up here.
Sure.
You know, the thought of throwing an inexperienced quarterback against this defense is ill-conceived, to say the least. Chuba probably does have a higher ceiling than Jordan Travis potentially, but he's just not there yet, and you don't have him show up for his first game against this defense. I mean, did you see how Anthony Richardson looked against Georgia? I mean, you just don't do that. Yeah, but yeah, that's a whole nother can of beans. Yeah, and then the defense got a lot of criticism, which I need to rewatch to know how valid that criticism is. Certainly,
lucky for you. That's what we're doing tonight.
Certainly, it doesn't look good what the scoreboard read, but there's always more to the story than just the scoreboard. So,
right, to me, the defensive performance reminded me of like a typical Mike Norvell offensive performance. It was like an explosive performance for the defense. They did not play perfectly, but they got some really important games. The Jermaine Johnson strip sack fumble touchdown, a Morian Cooper's interception, another fumble causing, I think, 3 turnovers in really critical times. However, I think you're just going to see, and what Kevin was alluding to, people were putting a lot of the blame on Jordan Travis. I don't think he had a perfect game, and nobody on the offense had a perfect game, but I think what you're going to see, it was pretty much physical domination by Clemson's front seven. They were considered a very good defense all year. They brought a really spirited effort. And a lot of the explosives that we talked about, explosives in the running game, that we thought Florida State might be able to pop, they were not. So I think we'll see as we look on the film, was that, whose fault was it? Not a lot of free running receivers. When there were, we hit them a couple of times. It was just the offense ran up against a buzzsaw, and a lot of those arm tackles we were breaking out of against Syracuse, North Carolina, and UMass, it was one hit and they were going down a couple yards past the line of scrimmage. Adam, what do you think of the teams, the totality of their performance?
Yeah, I mean, I thought in general the two teams really kind of mirrored themselves somewhat. Get carried away.
Sure.
Both teams were a chunk play and one drive. Clemson had the one drive following the Toll-Philly chunk play by Florida State, where they were able to run the ball on the outside zone midline that we talked about on the instant review. Coming off of their touchdown drive previously, where Maffa hit the long run and then they dunked on Travis J. Florida State had the
yes, it did.
Florida State had the one drive, the one like 10-play drive or so that was capped off by Jay Sean Corbin, and then they had the chunk play to Lawrence Toll-Philly. Other than that, it was kind of played between the 20s. Clemson attempted a few, missed a few field goals. You could say, they would typically make those. I don't know. I mean, they missed them today, so on Saturday,
Right.
so whatever. And then the second half was just a slugfest. The defenses just beating on each other. Florida State got a turnover that gave them the lead, and they had multiple turnovers, 3 in the game. They got the turnover from Jermaine Johnson with the touchdown, and then they get the personal foul or the unsportsmanlike whatever in the end zone. Clemson gets the ball at
Oh God, those refs. I don't know how much we're going to get into that, but
yeah, but I mean, if Florida State gets the strip sack, fumble, score for a touchdown, Clemson comes right back with the officiating touchdown. So I just really felt like the two teams really mirrored each other. I thought it was I think the win expectancy for Clemson or something like that was like 80% after the game. I mean, I think that's fair with how much their defense dominated Florida State's offense. I really kind of think that the two were a lot closer than what that maybe suggests. That's just my opinion. I thought the Florida State defense really played lights out. I know a lot of people are going to kick and scream and say, well, they gave up the most points that Clemson scored against a D1 opponent. They gave up the most yards. How could you say that? I thought Clemson also played probably their best offensive game of the year this year too. And it just so happened to come when they were healthy. So
right.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the two teams really mirrored each other. We'll see how it goes going forward.
Yeah, and we'll see. And it was just it was interesting when those Clemson wide receivers. There was a marked difference. I mean, I don't think our DBs played terribly by any means, but there was a number of times where the caliber of athlete, the caliber of player, Clemson's wide receivers, they just beat our guys. So we'll see. We'll take a look at the film. I tend to agree with you. If you had to put a gun to my head, I'd say Clemson is the better football team. I think that they played the better game. However, it wasn't like they just beat Florida State to death, ripped off an appendage, and beat them into a bloody pulp. Florida State played good enough to win that game.
Yep.
Based on a series of football events. That's football. Missed field goals happen. Turnovers happen. And if Florida State would have won that game, that would not have been an illegitimate or a lucky win, in my opinion, based on how they played. So let's take a look at the film. Let's see what of our observations were confirmed, maybe some narratives to be done away with. The film, as always, shines light on everything. Kevin, roll that beautiful bean footage.
Kickoff out of bounds to start the game.
Yep.
And I will say, the ACC officials, disgusting human beings.
It's not the reason you lost, but it didn't
help.
I don't know.
I think you got to win despite what the stripes do, but all right. Great job.
Amari Gaynor scraping outside.
Yeah. Good job keeping contained, working forward.
Some of the poor blocking we've seen out of Clemson on the edges all year long, we highlighted in the game preview.
All right, 3rd and 12. They go to a screen.
That's a nice job of turning that back inside, and then Hakeem Dent.
Great tackle in the open field.
Absolutely. Against a really special player. I mean, this kid's going to be a freaking problem.
Yeah, no, totally agreed.
And he definitely was.
Yeah,
as
he
we'll
was.
see later. But man,
great
right
tackle
there,
by Hakeem Dent right here. He had a great game, I think.
Yeah, I thought he played really well.
This is just get used to seeing this formation. They ran this a lot. For whatever reason, they thought that with their wide receivers and tight ends, they had some advantage blocking the hybrid defenders that Clemson likes putting on the field. Like you can see here that even with 2 tight ends, this kid's more of a safety build. This kid's more of a safety build than a linebacker build. So they thought they would have some sort of advantage here, and so that's why you see the 2 tight ends.
One thing this stuff does too is it balances up the front. You expected a lot of 3-man, so this forces them into that 3-3 look with their stacks, which then allows you to declare blocking wise much better. Mm-hmm. And then it also creates a shorter edge. They never attacked the edge though, which was odd.
Right.
I kept expecting some outside runs, and it just never really came about. So
yeah, so these defensive ends are this is a tight look. So I'll probably say that these guys are in what's called a 4-eye alignment. So they're on the inside shoulder of these tackles, and generally the method to beating this alignment is to pin them and pull around and try to get the outside here. And yeah, we'll see kind of what they try to do. All right.
I think so too. As you guys are watching the film, I would like some kind of commentary from you both on how you thought that Mike Norvell tried to attack the Clemson defense and what sort of game plan, like what did Adam Fuller go in trying to limit the Clemson offense from being able to beat him with?
They clearly didn't feel as though their running game was going to be. They thought they were going to have to throw the ball to set the run up some in this game. I mean, you come out on first down and you're throwing the football pinned deep too, by the way. And then you come back with a counter run that's slow developing, and they run blitz it. So, I mean, obviously Clemson's prepared for this kind of stuff too.
Sure.
It's interesting because if this was a read, this is a touchdown. It's interesting they didn't do that. Like they just made this easy, I think. Like, am I wrong? Like I feel like
he can't run that way unless he's booting.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Pre-snap motion, him down here.
The
read
pistol
option here.
The pistol seemed to have taken that because they're in the pistol. Took that away. But my biggest thing is I wish he would have just thrown the ball down there. Guy's 10 yards off. That's an easy pitch and
Here?
catch. No, the bottom of the screen.
Oh, gotcha.
But look, these things,
You think that's packaged?
no, not at all.
Yeah, I think that's just a straight run.
That's just hindsight being 2020.
Right, and a lot of that too, maybe trying to set the team's identity. A lot of success running the ball the past 3 games, but yeah, that's just athleticism.
You've got some movement in there on that play. You just you get the blitz off the backside by Simpson. Offsides.
How many of these? 3 of them in a row, 2 of them in a row, I think.
Yeah,
Another one.
It was odd. Jordan's running for his life. I mean, that's a nice throw out in the flats to Toafili.
LT got a lot more. Toafili got a lot more run this game.
Yeah, they were trying to find his matchups against his backers. They apparently wanted McDonald to be a little more have some more usage in this game against his linebackers, and he got dinged up.
See, this is the thing.
Oh, okay.
For all of the throws he might miss or all of the reads he might miss, he makes a play like this.
And that's all him. That's 100% him. That ain't nobody else.
Right. No one else is going to make that play for you. That's a sack with almost any other quarterback.
Run it back. Let's see if he misses something early. Does he miss an early read? Because one of the criticisms about him is he's too slow processing.
No, I don't think so. I don't think you can throw that.
No, not at all. I mean, that's going to be pick 6 in the house.
Yeah.
I wish we could see the back end so we could have an idea what brings him to the left side of the field here, but we can't. We can there, but
Yeah.
I mean, they're showing too high.
Yeah, he's got numbers up here. Mm-hmm. Right? There's this extra linebacker that's down here. Right? There's 11 people on a field, so if you're balanced, they've got to show some sort of imbalance.
Yep. They threw away from the monster.
That's why they throw that, and it's just not open.
The monster is that extra defender, Adam.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't see it like a free runner, man. That's just good defense, no separation from Florida State's receivers. But Jordan Travis factor, move the chains.
Yeah, and he showed some poise there.
Yeah, I think so.
But people got to understand when this happens, and this happens so frequently.
Wow, look at who is that? Who is the guy that just bam, Maury Smith annihilated?
When that stuff happens as a quarterback, and Kev, you could probably speak to this a little bit more. A clock in your head starts to really pick up. I mean, the pace of it really starts to speed up.
Definitely.
What did Venables do here to really prevent Jordan Travis from killing them in the explosive run game?
I don't think he really did anything. I just think they whipped him up front. I mean, if we're being honest,
that's recruiting well. That's a good strategy.
I mean, that kid's. You've got an overhang, but they just destroyed the point of attack.
Yeah, This guy getting so much penetration meant that neither one of these guys could get going, and it makes this linebacker's life easier.
I mean, what read?
Yeah, exactly.
The read just blew that shit up.
I think they're reading this linebacker, to be honest with you.
It looks like Jordan's looking at him. You're right, Kevin.
And what's interesting is Jordan doesn't feel like he can win this out here, and he tries to cut it back in.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah, that's
But against
33.
most
That kid's
linebackers,
pretty
he's going to
solid.
win that race. But that's just the speed they have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's bro. And penetration.
Oh,
What?
man.
Oh, I wanted him to get this.
Yeah, that was a dime. There's
Great
three-man
throw.
pressure again. What else is there? Let's look see what else there is. I mean, he's got Helton in the middle of the field.
It's 3rd and 12 too. I mean,
He's got Helton in the middle of the field, but that's not his primary read. His primary read's a smash.
Yeah, he saw it open, made a good throw.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's that's a byproduct of being in a 3rd and 12. That's hard to convert, man.
Yep.
So.
All right, so this is the first of a few outside zone mid lines that they run, and if he pulled it here, he's getting the chase by Lovett's getting DJ gets the shoulders turned by Lovett. Lovett makes a phenomenal play. Man, that kid's made a lot of money this year.
Yeah, that's a great play by him.
Please stay.
But we'll see that play come up a lot. Yep.
Yeah. But they're not washing everything on that. The backer, I don't know if we get an alignment issue later. We'll see. I mean, there's just a one-on-one. I mean, what do we want to have happen here? People are going to say, "Oh, we're in off coverage." So, yeah, I mean, a lot of teams run off coverage. This is college football. You're trying not to get beat deep.
This is cover 4. This is what people run. This is the base defense. Also, you don't expect your defensive line to get blocked this much by Clemson's O-line.
Right.
And they played what stunt here, Adam? Was this just slow developing, or what do you say?
I wasn't even looking inside. I'm sorry. I was
not focusing on the line. Interesting.
I think the stunt's a little bit slow here.
Yeah, for sure. But it's also picked up well.
But it doesn't matter. I mean, that's not that's Jarvis respecting Nagata's deep speed and Nagata just shutting it down on him and making a nice play.
That's a nice throw.
Yeah, I think they went to this a few times with the little bunch look.
Yeah. This is
just
a freshman
kind of a clear route.
It's a freshman getting beat. Knowles is not there. He's not perfect yet because he's a true freshman.
Yeah, he's flat-footed right there off the bat.
Yep. Just bad technique at the beginning.
But to me, when I see our guys getting beat, it's not like how they were getting beat at the beginning of the year with the miscommunication issues where there's beat and there's not a Florida State defender within 20 yards.
Correct.
They're getting beat, but it's either due to technique or athleticism or inexperience. When we talk about talent deficiencies, a lot of that right now is just youth deficiencies. This isn't fun, though.
Tackle the football. They just tackle the football.
That's a hold.
It is a hold, but they didn't call it. The football.
Yeah, what is Jarian Jones doing?
A little hesitation there.
That's just soft. And that's a chunk play. And that's not on Adam Fuller. That's on Jarian Jones not coming up and tackling the football. And later he does come up and make some plays. I mean, this is just competitive football.
Yeah, this is one of those things that bothers me is when a player does something wrong, somehow it's the defensive coordinator's fault. But when Jermaine Johnson gets the pick 6, it's somehow only on Jermaine Johnson. No credit is given for good, only for bad.
There's good.
Pressure there.
Yep. Is that Dent coming on the blitz?
Yeah.
Deloach ends up getting a piece of this. I thought I heard Brendan Sonoma mention today that shout out to Brendan that they blitzed 40% of the time in the game. They blitzed a ton more than what Fuller's done this year for sure. I obviously knew they needed to get to DJ.
And there's his one. That kid had a nightmare of a game, dude.
I think no one had missed a field goal against us
nice
until.
Throw.
It's a great throw. This was. I think this is the touchdown drive, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just wing T waggle right there, baby.
Now, I guess it's something we can. This was a nice drive, if I remember correctly. I'd like to see why we could put a drive together like this and either what we weren't doing or what Clemson adjusted to where we couldn't do this again all game.
I think we're behind the chains, honestly. I think you got yourselves in long yard situations early.
And it just nuked you the entire drive, huh?
Yep. Their pressure really turns up. They fix some of their run fits.
And then it was just they pinned their ears back.
Yeah.
It's a nice throw.
I think this is a little bit of a bust. It looks like it's man up here on some level, and this guy just watches Williamson go free. So
and that's what the wing tee does.
Yeah, this might have been a bust on Clemson.
Yeah, it does look like it.
But we hit this a couple times, I think.
Oh, God. Whew. Good job he gave that off.
All right.
You're feeling good right now, right?
Yeah, you're like, man, we can move the ball on
pass
Clemson.
play, chuck run play. We get them in the run blitz, and they try to tackle the quarterback.
Yep. Don't have numbers down here. Have numbers in the box with the +1 with JT running the ball. Yeah. Blocked up all right.
Yeah, run through
Great
the
block
blitz.
down the field by Malik McLean.
But a half second later, and that's a -5 yard run.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just such a nice blitz by Venables.
Clemson realized that they needed to live in that three-man front because they were just destroying Mo, unfortunately. He just couldn't handle Davis.
That was good patience. Ward had a tough game, but, I mean, he's been great all year, so.
Yeah, this is good.
Tight ends do a great job.
And you just need to hit these more often later in the game, and they just don't.
Yeah.
They start losing those battles.
Oof. That's all Ward too there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't this offsides again?
Oh, I love this.
Yep.
It doesn't show this, but this was a pre-snap motion, and they ran a bunch of people out there, and then you can just see the numbers. It's 2-on-3, right? I think they talked about this in the broadcast, but if he had numbers here, he was going to run it. If not, throw it out there. Nice play design.
That's good. I'm glad they caught that in between RG3, just making me cringe visibly in my couch, just listening to him say weird things.
What was this? He had some pun with Toa Philly's name that cracked me up.
It stopped, man. It was bad. It feels bad, man. It was not good.
Would you rather have him as your NFL quarterback as your commentator?
Pass. I don't know, man. What happened there? They get a piece of that?
This was supposedly a snapper interference that didn't get called. I mean, he's all over the center, the long snapper. You're not supposed to be able to engage him until a second after the ball snapped, and he's into him right away. So
yep.
Feels like probably should have been a penalty called there. That wasn't.
They don't. This crew surely would have caught that.
If he had thrown the ball instead of tipped it, it probably would have been a penalty.
Oh God!
All right,
dude.
so Shipley run here, 2nd and 1.
Just looks like split zone.
Yeah, they get us out of the. They get us moving in the wrong direction. Lundy's out of position there.
Yeah, but this is partly on Shipley, I think.
I mean, he makes a great run, yeah, but we are out. We're out. I mean, we're out of gap there.
Yeah, I mean, this is Lundy's gap here, right?
Yeah, I mean, you get the safety rolling down in the box up top.
Yeah, we don't need 3 people all.
No.
Yep.
And this is why they go to that. This is what gets them to that outside zone with the cutback. Because he's just overrunning everything still.
Yep.
She's young. Look, I mean, he's a young football player, and he's not.
Where is Deloach going here?
It looks like he sees he's keying on the screen. He thinks is going to happen for sure.
But he's the backside linebacker.
That's correct. And there's 3 guys over there to defend that play. Yeah.
Yeah. That's 2 straight that are just linebackers going in the wrong direction.
And look, we've talked about it over and over again. They know they don't have anybody special there. We like that.
Look at Akeem Dent playing aggressive. Easily his best game of the year, right, guys?
Jermaine's had a great edge.
Best game I've seen of him in a long time.
Right, and Lundy was there too on that play, so it wasn't all bad. Like they're getting better. It's just they have limitations.
Speaking of limitations,
yeah,
Deloach is too up. I mean, he's stuck between a crap and a fart.
Who hell no, that's a shart. Who missed that? Was that Lundy?
Yeah,
Well,
he's man on Lundy here. Which
That's a mismatch all day.
Yeah.
We called that pregame, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
oh, that's a spin cycle. Jesus God. Ugh.
I mean, that's just my athlete's better than your athlete, and you got to call a defense.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? That's just one of those when we talk about roster. I mean, Florida State's not fielding a BC level roster, but
they made an adjustment. Now Deloach is on Shipley on the same angle route. He does a little bit better, forces a tougher throw for DJ. Still open.
He played it better, but it's still beat.
Yep.
And any running back on these linebackers is going to be a win for the running back.
Right. 100% agree.
That's a 30. That's a 47-yard field goal.
49.
49.
Yep.
To me,
that's
at
not a
this point,
gimme.
at this point, that guy that was good pressure off the edge. That guy is not crapping his pants yet. He's not having his sharp performance.
No.
It's the same blitz. We got a screen going up here. We actually have the numbers.
Yeah, we just don't block it.
I don't know where McDonald was even going in the first place.
But even if McDonald's block gets by, his block is inconsequential here. It's the slot that
It's
killed.
dead.
Yeah, Helton's got to do a better job.
One of the two of them has to do a job.
Somebody's got to block somebody out there.
So pretty well designed play. You got the look you wanted. Just
All right, here's
poor effort. What happens here?
Well, Ray doesn't get to his gap, and one of these linebackers is too far. Who's this too far up the field? Somebody's too far up the field, up the top there.
One of the linebackers?
No, I think it's McClendon. He gets too far up the field. Whoever's to the right of, I wish I could point at it, but doesn't help you any. Yes, that person. That person. I think he's too far up the field horizontally. He needs to set there, and they just keep taking.
Yeah, and force that cut back into these guys.
Mm-hmm. Then he disengages.
Yeah, he throws the offensive lineman and runs out of his gap.
Yeah, I don't know who it is. I think it's McClendon, but I don't want to say for sure. And
Is that kind of a weird lineup for the defense on that player? It looks like is it like a 5-1?
No, they do that with a gainer up on the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
As a rush end.
Yeah, no, that's not terribly weird.
Okay. It just looks weird, I'll be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
It simplifies the gap reads for your people.
Yeah, but you're playing a dangerous game when you got 20
No
that
secondary
takes
players.
himself out of the play.
Then
Yeah,
you miss
man.
two. Then you miss two tackles.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
Yeah, so it's just poor gap integrity. Here's a better look. If he's going to be fighting this way, he's got to win out here.
Mm-hmm.
And what ends up happening is he throws his guy out. This guy doesn't win. 99 doesn't win across his face.
Yeah.
And so it's a combination of two things.
Yeah, it just runs through. Yeah. Were you guys on the whole? I mean, obviously we're not trying to be super critical of the coordinators here. We want to tell the story that the film tells us. But were you guys fine with the philosophy behind Adam Fuller's game plan as far as what he was looking to take away? Do you think he was successful?
Yeah, so far we're 3 missed tackles away from holding Clemson to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he knew he needed to pressure DJ and make him make tough throws. And
this is a tough throw.
What the hell you do about this?
I'd prefer better coverage from Travis J.
Yeah, I would too.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm okay with Nada doing that. I'm okay with Justin Ross doing that. I'm not okay with whoever that lacrosse transfer doing that. Now that's a clear push off as well. Like I said, dude, I expected us to get mossed, but not by that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Man, there's a lot of we'll get to it on that offensive play, but there's a lot of pressure up the middle from that kid on top of Maurice Smith, man.
We got cover 4 here. I mean, I don't know what else you call. They haven't made this completion all year. I don't know. Well, maybe that's not true. They occasionally make catches like this, but Like I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't know where.
Defensive coordinator ain't losing any game right now. I can tell you that.
No.
Missed
tackles, poor
they
plays.
just hit a, all right, so
what,
they just.
What do you guys think of the coverage there?
Let's-
I mean, technique-wise and all that.
He's not. He needs to go. That's what I think. He needs to go right back to the bench. I mean, it's just he's not playing with any confidence. He doesn't look like he trusts his technique, and he's kind of the only one out there that looks like that. So at some point, it's got to be about him. But that drive as a whole, you had a chunk run at 2 backup defensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You had ISOs on the linebackers the drive before that. I mean, shit, at some point, your personnel is your personnel. We know they've got to get better. And then DJ makes a dime throw on a kid that goes Moss, a tight end goes and Moss is one of your premier fall camp players.
Right.
I mean, at some point, what are you supposed to do?
Missed tackles left and right.
I don't know. It's kind of tough because at the beginning of the year, we had issues with the technique, the rotation, some of the philosophies. At this point, you see a lot of the kids that were playing bad or playing better. The technique is cleaned up. You've gotten a really good game from a kid in this game that we questioned earlier in the year, and Akeem Dent.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Jones has been a nice little reclamation project. The linebackers are playing about as well as I think they're physically able to. They have their own self-imposed ceiling. And unfortunately, you don't have a defensive line full of Jermaine Johnsons and Keir Thomas. You've got one of each.
Right.
I'd hate to say it. I don't know what else, like what much different you could do if that, with the personnel that you have, if that's not Travis J. I mean, who would be the guy in that spot? Would it be like an Amarian Cooper, like
it could have
Hunter
been
Washington?
Cooper. I mean, it would have been Jerry and Jones. I guess he's. Not
But he's probably
playing.
He's probably playing on the other side, though, right?
I think Brownlee was in.
Okay.
But, I mean, you're going to rotate guys throughout the football.
Exactly.
You have to. You have to rotate guys. And that's where the depth of this program is a major issue. We've talked about it. Everybody that talks about Florida State football has discussed it.
Mm-hmm.
The depth of this program is a problem. The talent on this roster is a problem. The
too deep, especially.
Right. I want people to come and tell me what the hell the defensive coordinator should be doing differently. Because yes, there are things that could be cleaned up, but that's every football team in America. I mean, that's even Clemson in this game so far.
Yeah, we've already shown you a busted coverage by Clemson.
They've had busts. I'm not saying that Adam Fuller is some magical answer. I just think there's a lot of unfair criticism that has been thrown his way, especially post this game where I thought they really have kind of played pretty well up to this point. You've had some stuff bust against some backups that, shit, I mean, that's out of your control.
It is funny. I like the observation you made earlier, Adam. Clemson's kind of playing like Florida State is. Like in the games that they've won, a kind of tough time putting some drives together, but just enough chunk plays to move down the field once every 3 drives or whatever. So I think the tougher pill to swallow, and I think why this was a good sidebar. On that one, I don't think it's a tough pill to swallow. I don't think there's any solution for that, man. It looks like a finely called defense. If you want to talk about coaching, the fact that you still can't get through to Travis J to make him trust the technique in game 8.
But you haven't seen that out of him since really the Notre Dame game much, where he just gets mossed like that. So
that's because they haven't played him.
I was going to say it's because he hasn't seen the field as much as he did on game 1.
He's been banged up and he's been hurt, so he hadn't practiced a ton. But
right,
I think that we're entering the phase of.
Yeah, now you've seen this a couple times in multiple games, and you can start to say, "This is a pattern."
Are you a part of the solution?
That was a good sidebar because I just think I felt trying to come up with solutions. I felt helpless. So
thus far, though, Clemson's hit a play. They hit a chunk play and they got a touchdown off of it.
Man, that is good. This is an amazing run. I was just looking at the pressure up the middle on that.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that Clemson's been playing man basically this whole time. You catch him in
a
rub where basically this linebacker here is on the running back, and you call a wheel route. And so as much as you want to be like, oh, they didn't earn this touchdown, blah, 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 This is a play calling touchdown. This is Norvell scored you a touchdown.
Yep.
Or Dillingham, whoever called
this. And
this
then Philly goes and it makes a hell of an effort here, but
yeah, I hope people feel a little bit bad for how much crap this kid got throughout the first half of the season.
I ain't never seen anything like this in my entire life. My wife I was like yelling at my wife, like, what happened? What just happened? She goes, the guy scored. He never like went down. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it happened.
I couldn't believe the refs didn't call it dead.
Yeah, me either.
Bro, come on, man.
As much as we hate on them, this was the one that guy got right.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Well, they don't start getting the directives from Charlotte until the fourth quarter when they've got to protect the precious. Like, I mean, right now they're just calling like a fair game. God, look at the balance. Yep, the ref looking at it.
View.
So there's the ref.
That was not me, guys.
There.
That was ESPN.
I'd say that cone of vision for that ref is severely overstated. I would
listen, Trey.
No, I think that's that's exactly right.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, look. Wait.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
I think the referee sees exactly 4 feet ahead of him at most.
Oh, okay.
I think this is legitimately where his cone of vision ends.
Oh boy, we're not talking about officiating until it's officiating season, okay?
It's not like a Dorito where it's on the bag where it's enlarged to show texture. That's actually how far that guy could see.
All right, so this was a big play.
Dude.
This was a big play for multiple reasons. Well, I'll pause it here. So we just come off that last drive where they got a chunk run, and we saw a couple of times where they were setting some of the cutback stuff up,
right?
Because we were overrunning on the front side. You get a one-play touchdown, you don't get a chance to adjust anything on the sideline. And look, a one-play touchdown, you're not going to complain about a one-play touchdown because you're happy you scored, but you had no time on the sideline to go over there and make any adjustments. That's big. That's big in my opinion, and I think that really leads to what this next drive becomes for Clemson. Now, I really thought that this was a big sequence in the football game that ultimately ended up deciding it. Obviously, because Clemson scores a touchdown, but
how big is this play right here? 3rd and 2.
Well, 3rd and 2, you're down. I mean, obviously big. You'd love a punt.
A punt right here changes the complexity of the game entirely.
I would like to see how they got to 3rd and 2. I think that's more, but 3rd and 2, that's kind of already a win for them.
I think teams know they can run at Jermaine.
Yeah, Jermaine's getting eaten up here.
Yeah. Which, look, I mean,
he's a pass.
Good effort.
He's a pass rusher.
I mean, yeah. Good effort.
They get you outnumbered at the point of attack there. I mean, look,
it's 3rd and 2. They already won, dude.
Right. Oop.
Oh, they ran it at
what
Cooper.
Happens here?
They ran that same outside zone midline, but instead of the amazing play we saw by Fabian Lovett earlier, now it's Robert Cooper that has to make that play, and there's just no way.
And they isolate DJ Lundy.
Yep. So between the two of them, one has to get the running back, one has to get the quarterback, which means DJ Lundy has to get somebody in space. Up, and instead he decides to run completely. They both go for the running back, and neither one hits
respect
him.
for the cutback.
What sucks if he just plays the cutback on that, the safety's there to make this tackle, or in theory the safety will make this tackle. But if he just plays the cutback lane, the safety's coming down and rotating down into the box to make this tackle. Instead, he's way overrun it.
Yeah, I don't know why he's triggering so hard this direction.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it must be guard keys. As soon as they open their hips, he's just running. But
and maybe they simplified his reads for him or something.
I mean, I think it's just youth too. I mean, he's a young football player.
And we have praised the kid in the past couple games for triggering faster than we've seen all year. And he's a kid that's at a physical disadvantage. So I mean, he's firing off as quick as he can because he's slower than everybody else. But yeah, it burns you there.
Yep, just two slower people put out in space, and yep, they get a free play here.
Yep. Okay.
Ross does what Ross does.
Yep. So here you go.
Good pressure,
That could. I mean, we got lucky he fell.
It's just another bust on the linebackers.
Yeah, Gainer gets beat here.
That's
Gainer's going to the flats, and is he expecting DJ to pick this up? It's hard to tell because I can't really tell.
Looks like DJ's going there.
A lot of time when they blitz, it's man.
Yeah, I have a feeling that this is man. Just based off this pre-snap alignment here.
And if that's the case, then if it is man, then Brownlee's got 1, Gainer's got 2, Lundy's got 3.
I think is Brownlee not blitzing here?
Is he the one that blitzes?
I think he blitzes and then he's got 1.
Yeah, then he's got 1. Sorry.
2, 3. I think Gainer just gets lost in translation on this play. See, you can even see him turning to run with this guy. It almost looks like, but the angle route. Yeah, I don't know what Gainer's doing
for falling.
Just notice a pattern here, folks.
Yep, they learned to run this at Robert Cooper instead of Fabian Lovett
and DJ.
Yep. So it's just a well-called drive against just personnel not suited to be able to defend this.
And I wish it's hard to tell from the tape how much of this drive was tempo, and we weren't.
They didn't run a ton of substitution. They didn't run a ton of explosive tempo. I didn't.
No, they generally aren't.
Then I would have liked to substitute Kalen DeLoach in at some point in this drive instead of continually getting beat by Robert Cooper and DJ Lundy. I mean, then I don't really understand the substitution pattern.
Yeah, I think at a certain point you have to say, hey, they're going to go back to this. We got to take this kid out.
I mean, if they're not going tempo this drive and they're not substituting in, so we can substitute in our guys. Yeah, that was my question, because at this point it's like, dude, get 46 out for at least this drive, right? It's like a basketball game. Like, call a timeout. like give yourself time to get some composure because they're gashing.
I did think when you're getting gashed, a timeout would have maybe been beneficial.
And I say a timeout, that's a basketball reference. I just mean it's a sub. Get the kid out, get some composure in there and getting a more athletic kid out there.
I would have liked to see a timeout to get the opportunity to go over and just talk to him. Just talk about what's going on.
An actual timeout. That makes sense too. I mean, first half, you're going to lose them at the end of the half anyway. Like you said, Adam, you didn't get time to adjust because of the one play touchdown. That's a very fair point. So now Clemson 17-13.
Yeah, we're in third and long.
Yeah,
yes, you're already dead. Yeah.
And this is inevitably after 2 runs for -2 yards or of some kind, probably.
Or a false start.
Yeah, the false start's killed. The false start, you can't get -5 yards to start a drive against this defense. You just can't.
Yeah, there was some things to where Florida State, some of the habits that they picked up in the losing streak, kind of came back. Not as severe as maybe some people are positing, but it wasn't the cleanest game they played in about a month.
If you take away the 3 penalties on the last drive, they had 5 in the game, though. I mean,
okay, that's fair. All right.
Or I say, really, what was it? It was 4 penalties because if you take away the Jermaine Johnson, I threw the ball up in the air.
Oh yeah, that garbage penalty. Yeah, good drive at the end of this half.
You like to see this from Ray. I mean, this is he does flash for you. He's a little short and got some short arms, so I don't know what his ceiling necessarily is, but if you get that one gap up the field, stuff like that, I'll take it.
Absolutely. He's a success story this season. Odell Haggins has done a good job with the defensive tackles.
Yeah, he and Briggs next year with Jackson, hopefully continuing his upward trend here. I mean, you feel a lot better than what you did 3 or 4 weeks ago.
They need some portal guys too, though. Man.
All right.
God, look at this. Just whoosh.
Got smoked.
So this is a longer developing play. This guy looks like he's on a twirl route, so he's not ready to receive the pass. People are already in his face. There's nowhere for him to go here.
Why not throw slants?
Yeah, I don't know why they don't make it a little bit easier for him.
Well, that's the popular critique out there is throw more slants, and I don't look.
Why don't they though?
I think they've done that a little bit more recently, but they tried it early on in the game and we weren't moving the ball, so they
because I don't think you got guys that can run slants.
That's fair.
I don't think you got guys that can win routes. I mean,
what do we got here? Because this is a nice easy completion to Malik McClain. A lot of people are wish they would try to get him the ball more.
Looks like the same play from the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Except he hits the corner route instead of the crosser.
Okay.
So it would have been nice to see them go to this more because it seemed clear like that they were winning on this route. But
I don't know why they don't naked with him more. I don't. I'm not sure what their opposition is to that. They just don't do it. Meaning bootlegging with him.
Yeah.
So here's that counterplay that worked so well in the first half. A couple of times, and you can see just how much it's getting blown up in the backfield. Like, what are you going to continue running the football 50 times against this defense when this is what the backfield looks like? Like
22 sitting on Jordan.
Yeah, it's a lot of orange, man. That 88, I think, is Miles Murphy. That's a good player.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys right up in the
every single Florida State has lost every single block on this play.
Yeah.
So the people that are like, why did we lose our identity? Why didn't we run the ball more? Because when you see this, are you going to continue calling that same play? Like, I don't know.
Run it back one more time.
Or 98. 90. Oh yeah, man. That was nice.
That was a nice little stunt.
Skalski does that, and then boom, he's like Trayshawn Ward hitting the hole, bro. Look at that. He just sneaks right in there.
Yeah, it's a nice little run blitz.
Yeah. That takes a lot of selflessness too. I mean, Skalski's not going to make a tackle here, but he makes the play because he eats up two blockers.
Yep. Yeah, once you're in 3rd and 13 against Clemson, this is just a hard place to be. It's hard to tell if anything's open downfield.
I'm a little surprised they didn't go to Babion at some point just to give him a shot.
I thought he'd played good enough to where I don't really know that he's not the best option. I mean, just with how Devontae Love Taylor's looked this year, he doesn't look like he looked last year.
I mean, Gibbons didn't practice a snap last week. At some point I would have given him a shot just to see if he can hold up in there. But hey, I mean, they're going with their guys. I understand it. It's not. Oh man,
you gotta be able to win this.
Yeah, hell yeah. This is your identity. This is who you want to be.
This is where it's like no longer coaching, right? You can't be upset that they're going for a 4th and 1 on the 50-yard line.
No,
if you punt it, what do you get most 30 yards? How big of a deal is that?
Yeah, you can't punt here.
No, you're the underdog on the road. This is a yard. I'd want him to go for it every time here, and you get smoked, man.
Pokey's got to block this dude out here though.
Pokey?
This thing's got it. Yeah, down at the bottom of the screen. This thing's got a chance to bounce if he blocks. I mean, that's just not good enough.
You're telling me this isn't a power stance?
You get this walled inside. It's got a chance to bounce. He's got to block better than that. That's not good enough.
Yeah, you can tell he's looking for the bounce, but out of the corner of his eyes, he sees this guy. Yeah, especially when
receivers got whipped this game pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know why people had this impression that our offense was all of a sudden going to start winning these one-on-one matchups that we lost against Jacksonville State.
A dime. That's the best throw he's thrown all year.
Yeah, DJ's weird because he occasionally makes these beautiful throws, but he's never made this many in a game before. This isn't terrible coverage here.
Jarvis got a little lazy in his technique.
Yeah, he's a half step behind, but I don't know.
That's a 5-star wide receiver beating. Oh, that's Jerry. I'm sorry. Sorry, Jarvis. That's a 5-star wide receiver beating your guy. I mean, 5 stars are going to win, right? Oh, no, it was Jarvis. Sorry, Jerry.
Yeah, journeyman to tackle.
And that's a great throw by TJ. I mean, look, he hasn't.
Across the safety's face.
We've seen so many times they've either dropped this pass or DJ haven't been able to throw it, and in this game they did.
Now, do you think it's people, just devil's advocate, to your point, we've never seen DJ look this good. Is it because he got it together or because we made him look that good?
I think it's because he had all of his guys available to him finally.
That's a good point as well. Good pressure there, forced an errant throw.
Yep.
Who came on the blitz there? Was that Dent again?
Yeah, Dent played his heart out.
That looked like a Clemson blitz. It's quick, well-timed, effective, and
so if you're going to take one positive from defense, it's got to be Akeem Dent. Moving forward, it looks like he could be something for you.
They try to get the wheel again.
Yeah, here's your shorter route.
Across. Yeah. There's a crosser.
Clear out.
Nice yeah, not quite mesh. It's more of a design clear out.
But you're in 3rd and 9 again.
All right, 3rd and 9. He makes a good throw across the middle. It's hard to tell what this concept is.
That's nice, though. That's a nice throw. It's a nice catch.
Yeah.
He looks like a quarterback.
I just don't know what more you expected from this kid, man. He's made a couple of big plays on 3rd down to extend drives. I mean, he didn't break any deep runs, but that's what Clemson was trying to take away. He made some of these throws downfield.
3rd and 15. It would be nice to know how we got there, but at this point, yeah, you're dead. There were some times, and the film hasn't really shown it, where I thought there was some hesitation in Jordan Travis kind of picking what phase he was going to do. He was kind of gummed up between, am I going to run or am I going to throw? I think that's a legitimate, you could say criticism, but I mean,
yeah,
he's affected
definitely.
By
he is not a perfect product out there.
I think right there he understands the situation. 3rd and 15. I'm not going to be able to run for 15 yards, and then Maurice Smith is in the way. Doesn't help either. But yeah, I agree with you, Trey. I thought there were a few times where he could have taken off, maybe gotten 4 or 5 yards on early downs, and chose to kind of wait in there.
Right, but even with that, Jordan Travis isn't the reason that you're losing the game right now.
Not at all.
We're just outgunned so much against their defense.
It's just the half step on every play where Clemson just has that athlete.
Man, that is nice. Quayshawn Fuller has flashed multiple times this year. I'm excited. Good, dude. Just disengage the block.
Yeah, we're definitely losing. Next year, we're definitely losing the top-end talent on the defensive line, but there's at least a base of kids that should be coming back next year. Nice.
Great pick. Got him doubled.
Oh, man, I wish you would have grabbed the ankle, dude. This is where I know the offense had. Yeah, that was a great play. But I'm saying afterwards, the offense, I know they had tough sledding. I really wish they could have had some production after some of these turnovers, man. Because the defense did their job in the second half. This is a dumb decision by Ugio Blaze.
Yeah, this is one of his worst throws.
Yeah, whatever. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, no, this is prime DJ right here. So it looks like cover 4 of some kind on the bottom here. Some kind of cover 2 up here where he's trailing this guy because there's no one coming underneath. So he's supposed to let him go here. He's got the underneath route. His eyes come. He doesn't see anybody release the flats, so he follows the receiver deep. I think this is kind of a poor play design too. If this is the shot they were going for, I guess they expected cover 4 up top. Oh, there's the cone of vision.
Much better than the refs.
Because if you leak that running back out here, that pulls Cooper, and you might have a shot on this play.
I mean, you got to give Florida State's defensive line credit there too, where they schemed it up in practice that they expected to get some pressure on that. I mean, that's why they kept him in. But yeah, dude, great play, true freshman. 3rd and 6. Really like to get some points.
One. I'd like to see him take off a step sooner.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed. 100%. And it's a learning process.
Right there, you should go.
I think he's gotten better at this over the season, but it's still not where it needs to be.
Just wish we could see what the hell's going on down the field.
Yeah, camera angle sucks.
Constant criticism.
Yeah, that'll never change.
How did they get to 4th and 10 there? I wonder. Obviously it was a penalty, but
I think they were probably going to go for it on 4th, Adam, and then I think
I remember
that.
I think you had a false start maybe.
It's like I said, just some, not a ton of penalties. I was actually surprised. I thought there were more, but that's good effort though.
Run that back. All right, so you get Deloach on the jet. Yeah, they just freeze you with the jet. I mean, it's good,
pops
it's good scheme.
Inside.
Yeah, you need Lovett to be able to win this a little bit better, help out his linebacker.
Kier can't get. I think Kier gets driven a little bit here, which doesn't help. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets popped outside. Lets them turn the hips.
Yep.
Yeah, you just kind of get beat here.
Yep. Just gotta get it outmanned a little bit.
But not an egregious play.
I mean that's the difference. In the second half, they were keeping that from being a 20-yard gain.
Yeah, that was the Mafa run or whatever from earlier, right?
Yeah, this is your boy, Jamie. Yeah, good blitz.
Won't hear me say anything bad about that kid. He got what he had coming to him in the Jacksonville State game, but damn, he's turning on.
Man, they really shut Clemson down in this third quarter.
Yeah, really not much of anything.
A little mush rush.
Zone here?
Yeah.
That's good. Good throw. Good awareness by the receiver. Ball traveled a long distance.
It's really hard to tell.
Yeah, you can't tell.
I want to say it's cover 4, and they just got behind this linebacker.
That's not a linebacker though. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's safety, isn't it?
Is that not Lundy?
I think it.
Oh no, it's Knowles, but he's playing stud.
Yeah. So
nickel corner.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess this guy runs.
Yep, he
deep,
clears. Yep.
And then you got an out route behind him.
So they anticipated the coverage. They get Brownlee having to chase deep and then throw the stop coming behind him.
Good throw, good route.
Yep. Great play.
Third down conversion.
We've seen Clemson drop those so many times this year.
And I think they brought pressure that didn't get home. So I mean, that's what happens, man.
Another great throw and catch. I mean, come on.
Yeah, this is Clemson acting like Clemson for
exactly.
a minute.
I mean, that's a back shoulder. Come on. Get a break.
Yeah, and the defensive line, they didn't get totally stonewalled there. That was just very decisive throw and catch.
Yeah, I mean, if he can get in rhythm and make those
thank God the guy fell on the screen, yeah. Let's see. Chop. That would have been dead to rights either way,
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. Yep.
That's Jamie Robinson again.
That's what Jamie does.
And this is the forced fumble.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then you can't have what happened on the next
play,
play,
dude. The midfield.
I blame Adam Fuller for what happens on the next play.
Or Jordan Travis.
Yeah, I think it's one of the two, clearly.
Jesus, that's a great play.
All right. You ready? You prepared? While they're still showing replays of the last fumble?
Oh, and that could have been
literally
a good run,
just fell down.
too.
Just fell down.
If you're going to beat a team that has more talent on the field than you can't be doing stuff like this.
Okay, am I a big
still
dumb
think
dummy?
he's down.
Is that a fumble? The
I don't
ground
know.
can't cause the fumble. I mean,
I always thought the back of
ground.
the hand was considered a part of the forearm, and which means the ball should be dead there. But I don't know. I'm crazy. Those rules are all over the place.
Yeah, it changes every 6 seconds.
Run that back.
You mean that?
No, not that garbage.
Yeah, that's a good. Make it go away.
All right, you got double teams across the line.
Yeah, you just get beat inside again.
Yeah, I mean they got double teams here and here and here.
And your linebackers are your linebackers.
2nd and 1, dude. Story of this play is what happened before. They really they pick a very strange set of plays for this condensed game sometime. I know that play gets the first down.
That's the one they always choose.
Play. I know, dude. It's good coverage. Of course it's a flag. This was okay. The only way this may have been pass interference to me, I think he hooks him a little bit on the hip.
I definitely don't think it's as decisive enough to warrant a shower of flags.
No, not at all. And I mean, obviously, the more egregious one is the one later, but I thought this one was clean too.
I thought this one might
be.
be borderline cleaner than the other one. Yeah, no replay. Thanks, ACC.
There was just, thanks guys. Yeah, there was a hand on his hip. That was the only thing that I could see, but it was still
Great
weak
pickup out there,
sauce.
This is good defense. This is what you have to look at.
They really manned up when it got tight. When the ball got down tight, and Clemson was really good at scoring touchdowns down in the red zone.
This is a really hard play to defend. Sean McVay has made it to a Super Bowl off that play.
Good communication, man. And of course,
Boink. It's just comical at this point.
All right, so you're still in the game. All right, we missed all of that. Great play. This is where it's like people say, oh, if we had a quarterback that could throw the ball, we would be elite. Well, you've got holes all over the roster, man. Like, how many kids are making this play?
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see how much more this game could have been out of reach with a quarterback who is a step slower. I mean, there are limitations when Jordan's that's a limitation.
But Kenny said today this was on Helton.
This is on
Yeah,
Helton.
of course
Helton
it
drops
was.
this ball.
Yeah, no.
No, but he was talking about the route wasn't run right.
Looks like some sort of slant stop concept. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think he's playing a horrible game for just how outgunned they are on the lines and then on the outside. I don't, unless all of the stuff from the condensed game is just Jordan Travis F-ups.
Yeah.
Like I don't see him playing it. I don't see him playing a great game, but I don't see him playing.
He's not winning you this game. But outside of a Heisman level quarterback,
bro, you want to talk about a play that almost won the game? This was sick.
This is kind of the second drive in a row where your defense is making plays and your offense isn't doing anything.
Yeah.
He switched that. God, that was so nice, bro. I thought we were going to win the game when I saw that. I'm not going to lie, man. I did.
Oh, I did too. Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing all those dorks look on their faces. Like, oh, no.
And the freaking penalty.
And this idiot, drink it in. Bloop. Oh, dude, with the non-dominant hand, a little punch out with the left. Because normally when you see that strip sack, it's like an over move with the right. But that was just good situational awareness. And I guess we gave the ball up really quick. Oh, no, they got the ball back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we scored a touchdown.
That's right. That's what happens after a touchdown. You're correct, Kevin.
Look at that pass rush.
Yeah.
Looking like it's supposed to.
And then they wanted to break the rock so bad. They did it on the field. That guy with the terrible facial hair sad. Everybody's feeling great. Keir Thomas on the inside.
Your defense does exactly what you need them to do.
Yeah.
Get off the field, force a punt.
Good burst by Keir, man. That was solid.
Then somehow you get into 3rd and 12 on your own.
Well, you
17.
had a false start.
You had a false start, but you should be getting the ball at the. Oh no, I guess there was a punt.
Yeah, there was a punt. You had a run for no gain. I think 2 runs for no gain. Then you had a false start, and you're in 3rd and 12.
Yeah, the thing we're really missing here is the poor performance on 1st and 2nd down that makes it so.
Yeah.
Jordan Travis is constantly in 3rd and long.
How come we can't get that 60-yard punt there?
That bounces 10 times and.
Well,
because their guy decided to catch it.
Everybody else is smart enough to catch the ball.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with our special teams.
That's a legitimate, especially for the amount of time we spend out on coaching.
That's a pathetic punt, though, in that situation.
Yep.
That's not good, Mastromano.
Yeah, can we talk about how in the last 3 drives, your defense has basically gotten a 3-and-out, 2 turnovers, one of which was a turnover touchdown, and they're
Clemson
rewarded.
has not scored a point in the second half yet. It is 3:48 in the 4th quarter. This much maligned defensive performance, I don't know what people are talking about, dude. Now, I know there was a couple missed field goals, but they have played to win the game.
They're rewarded with Clemson getting a 1st and 10 on the 42-yard line.
Well, I'm sure there's some freaking advanced metric out there that spins some damn story that doesn't tell you what actually
coverage.
happened.
Yeah, that's for college. That is just perfect college coverage, man.
If DJ Ukulele doesn't throw a freaking garbage football, then that's just a normal incomplete pass. But since it was underthrown, it looks like pass interference.
And you're not taught to get your head around there.
I wouldn't tell Kevin Knowles to change one iota of anything that he did on that play.
You're telling me because the Clemson quarterback makes a poor throw, underthrown at the back of the Florida State guy's helmet, that makes it pass interference?
I think that cone of vision was too generous from earlier.
And you knew it was coming. As soon as you saw
That's
incomplete pass, you knew it was coming.
That's right. The fix is in from Charlotte or Greensville or whatever dumb North Carolina city they're in.
All right, here comes the hold that doesn't get called either. Right there.
Oh, one.
So we're allowed to grab his arm. I mean, we're allowed to grab his arm so he can't run.
This is weak, dude. That was on third down. They would have had a third and short. Definitely would have blown it up, and they would have missed a field goal. We would have been up by 3. It would have gone 1 for 5.
Can we just talk about how this is probably better than any play I've seen a Florida State offensive lineman make in years? Watch this. Watch this guy. This guy might have single-handedly won Clemson this football game right here. It's just as simple. He saw the blitz coming, he turned, and he pushed it away. It's just those little things you're not doing. Oh, my gosh. I forgot about this.
Yeah, it's garbage.
We all better throw our flags. Dabo demands it.
That was silly.
Of course there's no reverse angle on that garbage play. And then I don't know what this is, if this is demoralization, but that's just bad.
It's the feeling that even if you play great defense, somehow they're going to call 15-yard penalty on you.
This is a little bit of give up at this point.
I'd say so.
You've been on the field a lot. You're tired at this point. A little bit of give up. Not give up. That's not fair to say.
Yeah, Lovett fights inside. There's no one to fill that gap once he wins inside.
It's that Jamie. He comes in, puts his head down.
Yeah,
can't do that. It wasn't Jamie. It was his den, I think.
But that's part of the season high that Clemson scored. I mean, that drive was 85% ACC official, and I hate doing that. And that's very fanny to do that.
I mean, in reality,
that's an illegitimate freaking touchdown drive, dude. All day.
In reality, if your offense gets a first down, or if your special team gets a normal punt, then you're not really in this position. Right? You make Clemson drive 80 yards on that drive, and they're not doing it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's not. That's a very logical way to look at it, but man, I hate those officials so much, dude.
They had to drive 50 yards on that drive, 58 yards on that drive, 30 of which
45. They got 30 of them from the. Oh no, dude.
There was a third. Jones got a PI on that drive also. Or personal foul, or pass interference. Sorry.
I don't know, dude.
So what? 15 or 30 or 45?
I don't know.
They got 45 yards worth of penalties. On top. Well, no, that wasn't. Sorry. Yeah. They had 45 yards worth of penalties.
So realistically, your defense let up 20 yards to lose the game. You know.
I just hate it. I just hate everything about that drive. And then it's.
Yep.
You're dead.
All right, turn it off. Game's over.
Yeah.
Also 316. Love the shirt, by the way.
Thanks, man. Stone cold ending to that one. It was, it sucks. Is that after watching it again, it was almost even more right there than I realized the first time.
We had the game until 3 minutes left to go, and everything crumbled.
That defense didn't give up anything for 97% of that second half, man. And even when they did give it up, they didn't really give it up. It was,
like I said, it was a chunk play, and one drive in the first half that killed you. That series killed you.
But like we pointed out multiple times, the 5-star generational quarterback, he had some great throws. The receivers played great. your whatever 5-star top all-purpose running back kid, true freshman, looked really good.
Mhm.
They probably actually could have mismatched him more in the linebackers. They didn't really go to that as much in the second half. I think that was a mistake on their part, but I don't know, man. I mean, Clemson's a better team. They played the better game, but I almost on the rewatch, I felt like it was just as close as I thought it was the first time I saw it. There
Yep.
are signs of progress. This is a team that's getting better, but it can only get better to as much as the roster will allow it to. And no, I'm not trying to say that Florida State is as talented as a BC or a Wake or something like that, but they're not deep and they're young. So
Yeah, the thing is, Florida State's
Give me-
one deep
Give me
is
Wake's roster.
Florida State's one deep is probably a top 40 team, but Florida State's two deep is probably worse than a lot of these teams two deep. Our second level right now is younger and less experienced and maybe even less talented than a lot of these other teams' second team. And it's because you have two transition classes that totally wipes out any sort of depth you have on this team.
And when you look at the team talent like composite rankings, think of the guys who are adding to the positivity rate of that. Guys like Brendan Gant, guys like Travis Jay, guys that were highly ranked out of high school that are those blue chip players that Florida State has that through, I don't want to say no fault of their own, but if you want to divide blame, however, they've gone through a bunch of coaching transitions and upheaval and this and that, and there has been some talk of buy-in issues. But even the talented guys that Florida State had are not producing. The kids that are producing for this team are guys that Mike Norvell had to get that weren't on the roster: Jermaine Johnson, Keir Thomas, Jamie Robinson, Jordan Travis, who was a transfer. Mike Norvell did not get him. I'll give props to Willie Taggart for getting him. Jay Sean Corbin. Those are the type of guys. And it's got to recruit, bro. That's all that
Come on, Travis Hunter. Let's go, baby.
That's the only thing that it points out to me is that you gotta win.
In season is the time to talk recruiting, right?
Believe it or not, it's recruiting time.
Hey, Dan, it's always recruiting time.
Yeah, that's the name of the game there, buddy.
What an idiot.
If you want to break Florida State season into trimesters, first trimester was terrible.
Ooh.
Second trimester was an unabashed success. They went 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
This third trimester, as it is in life, is going to decide the shape of the baby. And the baby is the recruiting class. We want a full term pregnancy, all that good stuff, man. So we will see. These next 4 games are absolutely massive. There are no gimmies. Miami looks better than what we thought they were. The rest of the teams look worse than what we thought they are. But I'd say that Florida State is probably outside of BC. I think that they're probably the underdog in the rest of those 3, right, guys?
Yeah. What NC State came in at like 2.5 or 3 points or something like that.
NC State's a good football team. I hate that we play them next.
Yeah.
They're a good football team.
They're good. They're beatable.
Oh, they're beatable, but
but that's the story of what we knew coming into this stretch was you could win every game, you could lose every game. So
yep,
they've got to go out and they've got to go out and put some performances together. The offense has got to be a little more consistent. I think playing NC State at home is beneficial to you. I know Kev's probably going to have a preview coming out of that game later in the week.
Yep. Unfortunately, Florida State is 1-0, I believe, against future NFL quarterbacks. So we get to face another one on Saturday. So hopefully we go 2-0.
I like that. And no matter what happens, we will be here with you on the triple option. Go to the X's and Knowles YouTube page, subscribe. Thank you. Over 4,000 subscribers. We love you guys. Thank you. Put the notifications on. Tell all of your friends. We're the only people that do what we do the way that we do. Go to the Patreon. That looks like a nice shirt, good horizontal stripes, but I assure you, Kevin is still ridiculously poor. Give him your money. And as always, thank you for everybody. Thank you, Tomahawk Nation, for hosting us. You can check out all of our content. In addition, on the X's and Knowles YouTube page, there's also a corresponding article on Tomahawk Nation. Check out all the other great content that's on there. We will see you guys after NC State. Kevin, we'll see you a little bit later this week As always, I'm Trey Rowland, Kevin Little, Adam Brown. This was a triple option. We love you all. Kisses, XOXO, Gossip Girl. Keep chopping.